Hey there students, Mr. S here. I hope you're having a nice day and you're staying safe and healthy. This week will be our very last week of lessons here at HVG, and I would just like to personally thank each and every one of you for all the hard work you've done for us this year. I know this has been a very huge adjustment not only for us as teachers, but for you as the students. And I'd just like to say that I appreciate each and every one of you, and I hope to see that you guys have a very lovely summer. Alright, so since this is our last week, I thought we'd do something fun and talk about my favorite instrument, the drums. That's right. So by the end of this lesson, I want us to be able to describe all the parts of the drum set, okay? Now, before we do that, we're going to go back a little bit and talk about its history. Now, the drum set as you know it today really started coming around in the late 1800s. And back then, it was known as a trap set, usually because it was made up of different things, sometimes tin cans, different types of drums and weird little clanky items, and these were used for what's known as vaudeville shows, just side shows that would have musical accompaniment with picture shows. So moving on from that, we now have the modern day drum set, which is made up of two different parts. We have these, which are known as cymbals, and then of course the drums themselves. We're going to talk about the cymbals first. So with the cymbals, you notice I have a few different kinds of ones here, and they each had different purposes. I'll give you just kind of some of the basic known ones, and just so you can have that. So the most important, I would say, that we have is here are the hi-hats. They used to be known as low hats because they would be all the way down. You control it with your foot. If I turn the camera, you can kind of see that. You see right here? I can control it with my foot. And that enables me to trigger it, and this is known as the hi-hat. You can also play the hi-hat using a pair of sticks. Alright, next we have these two larger cymbals. These are known as crash cymbals. They're called crash cymbals because you crash on them. They're loud and they make a big sound. Okay, and then finally we have this cymbal right here, which is known as a ride cymbal. And if you notice, it's going to have a little bit of a different sound from everything. Whoops, dropped it. Alright, and so those are pretty much all our cymbals that are common to the drum set. Now, let's move on to the drums part of it. I'm going to start here with this guy. This drum right here is known as a snare drum, and it's for one very important reason. If you look here on the bottom, you see these little metal strands right here? Right, see these? These are known as snares, and they are what give the snare drum their sound. So I want you to listen to the sound of the snare drum. Back on here. Listen to how the snare drum sounds. Now, there's a little trigger here on the side. If I take it off, you hear that? The snares come off and it has a different sound. So it has a different sound when it has the snares on and when it's off. And you use this little snare thing, hear that? To turn them off and on. And this gives the snare drum a lot of different options. You can do a lot of different sounds using it. You can also do cross stick or hitting the rim. So you can do a lot of things with it. Now, I'm going to pull another drum off right here. So these right here around me, right, these are known as toms. And the toms are just kind of what you would imagine a drum sounding like. They're very big. They have two heads to them. Let me listen to them really quick. Now, if you notice, they go from small to large. And the larger the drum gets, the lower it sounds, right? So listen to the highest drum, the smallest one. Now I want you to listen to the lowest one. See how that gets lower in pitch as we go through it? Alright, now we're going to go actually to the front now, and we're going to show you the biggest drum on the kit, known as the bass drum. Okay guys, and here we have the bass drum. Now the bass drum is also known as the kick drum because you use a pedal that hits the skin of the drum and gives it that really low end punch. You'll notice out of all of the drums, this has the lowest sound to it. So when you're going to listen, you're going to feel that low end to it. Let's take a listen. So the last part of the drum set that a lot of people don't actually think about is the drumstick. Now, there's various different kinds of drumsticks you can use on the drum set. This is kind of one that people tend to use more. Let's take a listen to it with just a normal drumstick. Okay, so besides that, there's various different kinds of sticks we can use. So look at here, I got this big old bag of drumsticks. Each one can give you a different sound on the drum set. For instance, another common one that people tend to use is this, which is just a brush. Which you go like this, you open it up, and see it has like this, like a little fan, so that you might sweep up the floor with. This gives it a different sound, and it's not as loud as a normal drumstick would be. This is with the brush. Then with normal drumstick. Now you notice I can get the swishing sound with the brush. This is something that's used a lot in jazz and can kind of give everything a different feel and sound. Another example might be to use something like this. This is known as a hot rod. And with hot rods, they're used as basically a quieter drumstick. So let's listen to a normal drumstick. Okay, now let's try it with the hot rod. You see how it is a little bit quieter? It's because if you look at it very closely, it's made up of a bunch of different kind of like small wooden straws. And the idea is that you use this for quieter situations. You know, in drums, sometimes you need to play really loud, you're rocking out, or sometimes you're maybe in playing jazz or something that's a lot quieter. And there's all kinds of different sticks people use. And sometimes people use really weird things. This is something I really like. If you look here, it's like there's a little fuzzy ball at the end. This allows me to get even a different sound. Let's listen to it on a cymbal. You see how the sound it made? Okay guys, so today we've discussed all the different parts of the drum sets. What I would love for y'all to do is to name maybe one of your favorite parts of the drums or something you didn't know about the drum set before. Please reply. We still have 2 other lessons where we're talking about drum stuff, so I can't wait to check it out. Until then, I hope you all stay safe, stay healthy, and I'll see you in the next one.